If you've been following my channel for any period of time, you know I'm a huge fan of the Tesla Model Y. And yesterday and some today, I've been driving this beautiful performance Model Y. And I'd like to share my experiences with you as I experienced the Model Y and this performance Model Y for the first time. So let's dive into various features of this vehicle and talk about, did I overhype this vehicle when I talked about it before, or did it live up to my expectations? First of all, when it comes to the exterior of the vehicle, my general impression is that it's a great size. It's a great length, about 187 inches long. It's about a foot shorter than the Model X, but still has plenty of room inside, as we'll talk about in a minute. Generally, my favorite color for a vehicle is probably going to be a gray or a white. However, this particular beautiful multicolor red paint does look really good on this vehicle. The performance version with these 21-inch Uber turbine wheels, kind of the matte gray finish, and the performance brakes. It's a great combination, and this particular one also has the beautiful white interior. So good combination, definitely recommend it, and it's really impressive in person. Now let's move into talking about the cargo room and my experience with that. So one of the unique features about electric vehicles, not all electric vehicles, but many electric vehicles and all Tesla vehicles, is the ability to have this front trunk. And in my personal experience, this is a great space. I'm really impressed with the size of it in person and what you can put in here. It technically is around 4 cubic feet, 4.1 cubic feet, but seeing it in person, it's a good usable size. And a great place to store your stuff. So I'm very impressed with this front trunk, and it's definitely a feature that I wish all vehicles had. Now moving to the rear cargo area. In total, when you combine this back area, which this folds down, which I'll show you in a second, and the front area, if you combine that all together, and also under storage, which I'll talk about, the Model Y has around 76.2 cubic feet of cargo space, which is actually quite impressive for a vehicle in this size range. The Model X, of course, has more cargo room, and a vehicle like the Rivian R1S has more room, but many other electric vehicles on the market do not have more room than the Model Y, so very impressive in its cargo space. Tesla did incorporate these buttons here, which I find to be very easy to use, but you push the button here, it drops the left side, you push the other button, drops the right side, works flawlessly. I think it's a wonderful thing for sure. And then what I love too is, there's plenty of room here, and plenty of room here if you wanted to put an inflatable mattress and camp in this thing. But also, as you can see here, there's a good amount of room in the under storage area. A good deep pocket here for under storage. And then there's actually a storage compartment here as well, a flatter area back here. So plenty of storage here in the Model Y. Definitely an impressive space. In addition to that, there's also these deep pockets on the side. I got to mention those as well. Deep pockets on the side are great for stowing stuff away as well. When it comes to the rear seat, there is definitely plenty of room. I'm 6'1", sitting back here. I got plenty of knee room, nice flat floor. Allows for legs to spread out if you only had 2 passengers here in the back. Plenty of room. I'm very impressed with just the overall leg room here. You can also recline the seat back just slightly more if you want to, and that's a good comfortable position. Looking up with this beautiful panoramic glass roof, also very impressive. You have your middle seat here, which not too bad either. You sit up a little higher, but it's not quite as fluffy, but it's still a good seat. Once again, that flat floor makes it easy to sit here. You've got your USB-C ports, the air condition that you can control there. If you don't have a middle passenger, you can pull down your armrest here, and it has cup holders. But yeah, totally a great space. You could easily put 4 adults in this vehicle very comfortably, and if you opt for the third row of seating, then you could fit a family in this vehicle. I mean, just a great size. Very impressed with the back seat of this vehicle. Let's now move over to the front seat. When it comes to the passenger seat, once again, there's a good amount of leg room. Just the angle of the front there is nice. I could see sitting in this for a long period of time. This particular model, which is something that the brand new model does not have, this is a 2021 model, Tesla recently removed the adjustable lumbar support for the passenger seat, but this particular one has that. But these are full power seats, easily move forward and back, adjust the back of the seat, and then, as I mentioned, this one has the lumbar support. This also has the updated center console with the 2 wireless phone chargers here in the front, which I found very useful, very handy to charge your phone right here. They got rid of that piano finish black center area and replaced that with this. It has like a carbon fiber look and kind of a soft leather-like vegan leather stitched look. Much better. I like the center area here. You can just push that. It's a good deep cubby for storing stuff in there. Self retracts back, 2 good cup holders, and then a deep area here for storing stuff that goes on back and has a 12-volt socket right there as well, like a cigarette lighter style socket. You know, for the passengers, very good space for sure. Let's go over to the front seat where I've spent most of my time. So yeah, when you sit in the front seat of this vehicle, it's just a great experience. You know, there's no complaint with having the speed right here while you're driving. I don't have any complaint like that. I don't miss having an instrument cluster right here in front of me. Comfort of the seats, you know, people weren't joking when they talked about Tesla seats being some of the most comfortable seats they've ever sat in. Very comfortable seats. I love the ability to adjust the seats like you can. That lumbar support's great. Being able to adjust the steering wheel up and down to get it to the perfect setting is wonderful. It's a good size steering wheel. I like that it's a little bit thick, but it is the actual diameter of this particular wheel is not very large. It's a good size. Thumb wheels are very handy for adjusting different things on the go, like the volume, things like that. Voice commands work very well. Here's an example of me doing a few voice commands. Open energy. My butt is cold. My hands are cold. Set wipers to 2. Turn off wipers. When it comes to the general software, when it comes to experiencing the software, for the very first day, yesterday when I first started driving this vehicle, it took me just a minute to kind of get used to the software. It's very easy, it's very intuitive, but like with any new device, it just took me a little bit. It almost felt overwhelming at first, just for a little bit. But then today, using it again, after just one day of using it, moving to today, it's actually feels I'm completely comfortable with it. I know where all the different features are. I spent some time playing Tesla Arcade, and of course I went to YouTube and pulled up the Cleanerwatt YouTube channel, which, by the way, if you're not subscribed to this channel, it's a good time to subscribe right now and like this video. Pulled up my website in the web browser. That worked great. Went through the various software features to kind of experiencing them. Pulled up music on Spotify. Great sound system in this vehicle. I also want to react to the white interior. So personally, I would probably still opt for the black interior. However, this is a great color with the red and the black and the white. It's quite stunning. It's made me rethink white a little bit. I kind of want to experience it a little bit and see if it was too bright. Overall, I don't think it's too bright. I think it's actually pretty comfortable overall. I love the climate control system. I love the ability to have that hidden vent, but also be able to completely control which direction it goes. That works well. And then one of the biggest features is the drivability of this vehicle. So driving this vehicle over the last day and a half, it's been wonderful. It's super smooth as far as acceleration. Very impressive. Here is a clip of a drive that I did yesterday, a pretty long drive. And I talk about using autopilot and just my experience with the ride, comfort, etc. And so let's dive into that, and I'll show you my drive from yesterday. Okay, so let's talk about driving the performance Tesla Model Y. One of the things I noticed right away is, since it doesn't have air suspension and because it does have the large 21-inch Uber turbine wheels, you definitely feel the bumps in the road. It's not terrible. It's still pretty smooth generally. compared to some vehicles, but overall, you do feel a lot of bumps in the road. Now, the vehicle feels very planted, and you feel very good with the steering. The steering is very responsive. I've heard people talk about that and totally agree. Steering's very responsive. The vehicle, of course, weighs a lot, over 4,000 pounds, but it doesn't feel that heavy when you're driving it. You just feel really stable. Noise level in the cabin, you can hear road noise. This is a decently smooth road. You can hear road noise a little bit. It's not terrible, but it's not whisper quiet like you can get. I remember the Model X being a little quieter than this, but that being said, if you get the newest model, the 2022 version, that's supposed to have the acoustic glass also in the rear windows. So that may make it just a little bit quieter than this one. This one has the acoustic glass in the front. It's a 2021 model, but not the back. Now, when it comes to the thing that a lot of people talked about at first was the speed limit, the speedometer being to the side. That's definitely not a problem. The speed being right here, not a problem at all. It's very easy to see it. It's right there, almost where you would normally look. I mean, if you looked here versus here, it's not really a big difference, and you can still keep your eye on the road and see how fast you're going. So I believe that's not bad at all. You know, one thing really nice about this is when you get into a situation where the backup camera comes on, it's nice and large, very visible. I like the backup camera a lot. And then when I use the turn signal, you can see that it also gives me a view here of the side repeater camera. So I obviously have the mirror to look at, but I can also look at the side repeater camera, and it gives you a little bit more peace of mind that you're safely pulling into traffic like that. You know, acceleration, even in chill mode, once again, to 55 miles an hour, totally amazing, really. I mean, I'd probably say with chill mode, and I'd have to look it up, but probably 0 to 60 in like 5-6 seconds, maybe six seconds. I mean, it still feels pretty good, still pulls nicely. And get this back in autopilot. Well, there. Had to get back to a straightaway, get that back in autopilot. I do notice on autopilot, it does favor the line slightly more than I would around curves. But I'm not ping-ponging about, like, obviously Tesla's come a long way. Remember, this is the free autopilot. This is not the full self-driving, which is probably going to try to take more than this, obviously. But here's another pretty good tight corner, oncoming traffic. You know, it take it a little closer than I probably would, but it stays in the lane and handles that totally fine. We got another corner coming up here. This is a pretty tight one. We'll see if it should slow down for this one. If it doesn't, I'll slow it down, because this is a pretty good corner. Yeah, it slows it down. Handles that great. When the road goes to the left, I feel like it's definitely more, I'm more comfortable with it, because it tends to favor the outside lane. Like in this, it favors over here, and that feels more natural. When it comes to, when it turns to the right, it definitely feels a little less natural. This is pretty wonderful. That slowed down to below 40 miles an hour. That took that curve very smoothly. When it comes to would I want to take a long trip in this vehicle, I would say definitely. This has been the longest drive I've taken so far, consecutively in the Model Y, and I can say the seat is still very comfortable. It's got some good cushion, but it's not too much cushion. This morning I also took this vehicle over to my local supercharger station and charged, and that charging process was seamless and easy and pretty quick. I mean, I wasn't below, I think I was a little bit below 70% when I put it into charge, so obviously that's not the most, it's not going to be the fastest charging, but it charges it's easy to use the supercharging network. Great experience with that, great availability. So with that being said, I just want to share kind of my parting thoughts on this vehicle. The first question I'd like to just basically answer is, would I recommend this car to other people? And I say definitely. And it also lived up to my expectations. Good cargo space, very comfortable to drive, very smooth. You know, I would personally probably opt for the long-range all-wheel drive version with 19-inch wheels for a slightly smoother ride and just a slight bit more range. But other than that, you know, great vehicle. If you're looking for a great performance, a 0 to 60 in 3.5 seconds, and you have a family that you want to take around, I definitely recommend the Model Y to you. Full electric, access to the Tesla supercharger network, beautiful vehicle, fun to drive, great software. I just don't know what else to say. It's a beautiful car, and it definitely lived up once again to my expectations. It's a blast to drive. So thank you so much for watching this video all the way through to the end. I would like to take a moment to thank the Patreon supporters who support me every month and help make this content possible. A special thank you to my performance supporters and also the other supporters listed on the screen. If you'd like to find out more about the Patreon community I've set up, I'll put a link in the description below. Thank you so much.